I am at the Bell Lake access point, which is the entry point that takes you into Bell Lake. And the plan for this trip was to head up from Bell through Balsam and then up through Pike and into Harry, where I would stay for 2 nights. Unfortunately, having arrived here, told by the park ranger that that entire route's been closed all summer because a beaver dam is out and it's a swamp. So won't be passing through there. Would have been nice to know when I booked online, but no matter. I instead will be staying on Balsam for 3 nights and exploring and photographing and checking out this beautiful fall weather. So that's the plan, and well, I better get started. I have just launched onto Bell Lake at the Bell Lake access in Killarney Park. And it's pretty windy today. It's not quite capping, but I'm looking forward to getting across this bay because I've got a headwind. But gorgeous day, few clouds in the sky, very clear otherwise. And I expect today's paddle to take maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours till I get to my campsite, which is just past the portage leading into Balsam Lake. I'm about halfway to the portage. I've rounded the narrows at the east end of the lake and I'm now heading north. And remarkably, the wind has changed direction to accommodate my change of direction. So thank you for still blowing in my face, wind. That's the score right now. Should be at the portage in half an hour or so, and then a quick trip across and campsite pretty much immediately on the left. Now paddling on Balsam Lake. That was a short 30 or 40 meter portage depending upon what map you look at. And my campsite is the first one after the portage, which should be just on the point ahead. So I'm gonna get paddling and see what this campsite looks like. We're getting settled here on Balsam Lake, and we're just on this side of the portage. It's a shady site, and as the day gets longer, the site gets colder. Been here about an hour, just doing some exploring, some gathering of firewood. Still haven't unpacked much or done anything really. Mason and run around the woods a bit and sniffed at some things, and I just sat down and listened to the sounds of the lake. A couple canoeists pass along. It's amazing how far the voices carry in windy weather, but suddenly it's calm. And that's nice. The sun is warm. The shade is very cold though, and tonight's going down, I think, to 3 degrees or something like that. So fall is in the air. Leaves are changing, and this lake, I'll tell you, it's starting to show autumn colors as well, tucked in little pockets here and there. And I think things are probably still a week or 2 away until they really start to bloom, but it still feels like summer. Although it's starting to look like not summer. But great to be here at this site. We'll be here until about 1 p.m. tomorrow, after which we'll head down lake to a different site for the next 2 nights. Anyway, it's nice to be out again. It's been a few weeks, and you get into a rhythm of going out. And when you don't do it, you start to need it. Anyway, beautiful tiny lake. Still very windy, but beautiful and tiny. Rock outcroppings and all kinds of twisted wood along the shore. Lots for the eye to look at. Anyway, I'm going to start setting up camp now before I get too tired, and check in later. Good morning from Balsam Lake, and it's around 7:30 this morning. The mist is still burning off behind me, but that hasn't stopped the Canada geese from flying circles around my campsite since about 6 a.m. honking. Blue jays have been very active this morning as well, as have the red squirrels. So no sleeping in for me, but that's just fine, because last night was a very early to bed for me. After I arrived here yesterday, got camp set up and just puttered around, shot some video, and made some food, some steak and Calbee dinner, which was amazing. And then suddenly the sun was about an inch from dropping beneath the sky behind me, beneath the horizon line behind me. And when it did, wow, it was just like a curtain. Things got very dark very quickly. So I had a beautiful campfire and stayed up as late as I could, which was probably 9:30 or so, and then crawled into the tent for my chilly night's sleep. But now's another day, and a very straightforward one. Just maybe an hour's paddle to the next campsite, where I'll be staying for 2 nights. So today, just going to take it easy, not in any real hurry, and going to try to pack up still at a reasonable time so I can enjoy my leisurely paddle to my new campsite. I'd like to get there by around 2 p.m., so I've got time to set up and explore. So that's what the day's looking like, and of course it's going to start with coffee, so I'm going to get started on that now. This morning I'm making coffee a little differently than I usually do. I ordinarily don't bring this because it's heavy, but the problem is it makes the most glorious cup of coffee in the whole world. And it's just a little espresso maker that goes on top of the Trangia here. So this is what we're going to have today, and the coffee from here is just so good. For trips that are light on portaging, I don't mind taking the extra weight because it beats cowboy coffee, hands down. Anyway, so we're going to put this together, toss our grounds in, and then get her on to boil. Okay, so now we wait for the coffee. And like magic, the cup will fill. Well, the sun's fully out now. Cloudless sky. Oh, one cloud. Tiny. And in this bay over here, there's still mist on the water, but out on the main bay, it's glassy. And this light is really showing the popping of the pending autumn colors. Some parts of the lake brighter than the other, but what a beautiful morning. Can't wait to see what these colors look like in another 2 weeks. Coming up on 10 a.m. now, so I think I might brew up one more coffee and then get started on this breakfast. Breakfast time. I've got this bacon, half for today, half for tomorrow. I've got 3 eggs, and I've got some butter. So that should do it. All right, let's start with the bacon, and then I'll do the eggs after, because I don't mind cold bacon, but nobody likes cold eggs. Breakfast. I always like to heat up some water when it comes time to do the dishes, particularly if I've been cooking something greasy like bacon. So my technique is always the same. I use a piece of paper towel to kind of wipe out everything and burn that so there's no food odors. And now I've got basically clean pans that just have a bit of a film on them. So I'm going to clean up Mason's dish, a couple of drops of soap, and some hot water. I'll do the same with my bacon dish, and that'll be that. Well, I broke in camp, and I've got all my gear staged over just behind. And I'm ready to go. Nothing to stop me from leaving, except it's a great feeling knowing I've only got about an hour to paddle, gear's all packed up, still working on a coffee, fire going. I'm really not in a hurry to head anywhere, and the people who were circling the lake earlier, who I thought might have been waiting for this site, have left the lake. So if they come back, I can make a quick exit, even though I've got till 2 o'clock and we're only 12:45 now. I could go, but I could also stay. So I'll make my way out eventually and head down the lake around the corner to campsite number 2. It's not very far, but there were limited options available to me after I was declined, let's say, on Harry Lake. So I'm not complaining. Usually I like to spend a little longer paddling, but I think I'm just going to take my time getting there, going along shores, and seeing if anything interesting jumps out. Anyway, going to get this fire out shortly, finish up the tail end of this coffee, and hit the water, and head on to campsite number 2. Mason and I have arrived at campsite number 2, and it's approximately maybe a 1 or a 1.5 hour paddle from campsite number 1, so not that long. There's a nice breeze today. It didn't bother me while paddling, but I'm glad I'm off the water now because it's changed direction. And this campsite is wonderfully spacious with some fancy tables and such as well that someone's installed at some point. Not a big fan of these structures, but they are useful, so I will use them. Anyway, just going to get settled in here. It's 2 nights, so going to find a good spot to put the tent up and then start unloading some stuff and settling in. I'm not always a fan of the sun. I wear long sleeve shirts when I paddle and full hats. I've had stuff taken off my face before and I don't want to do that again. But there are times late in the day when the sun is lower in the sky and the air temperature is just right. And it just feels like you're bathing. I mean, I'll be able to sit here for about 10 minutes and then I'll have to go back in the shade. But I just feel like my body needs this right now, and it is a tremendous feeling. Only thing that can make this a little bit better would be some grape juice. And what do you know, I've got some right here. The good kind. But man, oh man, this is a sweet little campsite out in a point, and it looks like I'm going to get all day sun. So that'll be nice for tomorrow. Also having the shade out back is terrific. So we're coming up on 4:30 and Mason is crashed out on a rock right here. And I'm not feeling like doing anything. But I am going to start looking for firewood and start getting the idea of dinner together in about half an hour. So until then, it's just more of this. Beautiful. Mason and I have just finished up our dinner and cooked more than I can eat, so I'll be putting some back in the Ziploc and tossing in the cooler for tomorrow breakfast. But man, oh man, what a quiet night. Just like the buzz of the crickets, not a bug in sight, stuff splashing in the water, pretty much dead silent in the woods right now. And I've just got a fire going, camp's all set up. And really the only place with any light is down by the water, up where the tent is getting near pitch black. So just thought I'd check in before the day ended and just say, what a relaxing day this was. I mean, really the biggest issue was just moving camp and setting it up again like an hour and a half later. But it's good to be here, and met a couple of other canoeists along the way and had some nice chats, the kind of chats you have with other people in the backcountry, and it was really pleasant. So that's going to be it for me, and tomorrow I'm all day at the site, just shooting video, paddling around, getting some decent firewood. And that's the plan for tomorrow. So tonight won't be too late. I'll be in bed shortly and up early tomorrow to hopefully capture some mist on the lake and some birdsong. So that's it for Mason and I, and we're going to head off to bed. Good night. Morning of day 2, coming up on 8:30. Still working on coffee number 1, but I've really just been taking it easy this morning. Woke up to just the deafening sound of bird song. I mean, the crows and the ravens. It's like they were trying to wake me up. And if they didn't succeed, there was the red squirrels dropping pine cones on top of my tent and around it. That seemed to be very amplified this morning. But that's okay. I would like to have gotten up earlier, actually, but last night was cozy and warm. Put on the right amount of clothes, and I think it went down to maybe 8 degrees last night, or 10, not the 3 degrees that I believe last night, or the night previous was. So it was comfortable for me, comfortable for Mason, and just sort of woke up slowly today. Coffee number 1, coffee number 2 not far behind. And thinking about the day-to-day, I'm not sure what I'm going to do first. Head out in the canoe, or if I'm going to head back in the woods and start poking around. But there'll definitely be some exploring on the horizon today. And just checking out more of this lake, seeing what it's all about. This is a very intimate section at the sort of east and west end of the lake. Meanders through a bunch of different areas as it heads out to open water again. And I'm kind of at an elbow here. So, you never know what's going to come around the corner one way to the next. I've got a little swampy area across the way that I keep my eye on in case something big decides to stick its head out. But today I'm just expecting to take it easy and poke around camp and do some exploring. So once I finish this coffee and start on the second, I'll start making some plans. But until then, it's just a whole lot of nothing, which is a great way to start the day. Right, Mason? Good boy. Breakfast is served. that was exciting. Just sitting down, looking out over the lake, and Mason starts doing his, let's call it the big animal growl, and hackles up on his back, and he's looking over this way. So get the camera, walk over to the other side, and sure enough, black bear, big black bear. And I only took my 105 zoom, and that was zoomed in all the way, so that tells you how close he was. Now it is on a point. I'm here and he's over here on this point, and there's kind of a muddy bog in between that I'm hoping he's going to be discouraged from crossing, but who knows. So I've got the bear spray on the hip for the first time in a while, and Mason's still patrolling the woods out back and keeping his nose in the air. But what a gorgeous animal. I think I got some good footage. If so, you've seen it, or you'll be seeing it after I stop talking here. But my goodness, what a day it's been. Bald eagle, bear, loons, frogs. Yeah, I guess that's it, but all in one day. That's not a bad total. And the day's not over yet, so hopefully that'll be it for the bear, but I'll keep my camera and my bear spray ready just in case it's not. Wow, I'm still getting over that. It was a big bear, good looking bear. And when Mason started kind of doing his huffing and puffing, the bear was quite interested, stopped what it was doing and looked over at us. And I didn't want to scare it until the last minute because I wanted to get footage. So as soon as it kind of walked out of shot, I turned the camera off and, clapped my hands and made noise. And he didn't seem in too much of a hurry to get out of here, but he also proceeded in a direction that is not in the direction of my campsite. Uh-oh, Mason's still barking. Better go take a look. But anyway, bear, exciting. Well, the sun has just dipped beneath the trees across the bay here, and I think it won't be very long until it's dark. I've got a fire going up now, and camp is cleaned up for the most part, but what a day this has been. I mean, to have a full day slack at a campsite to do nothing but wander around and look at all those things that you would otherwise pass by because you're in a hurry to get somewhere, has just been a real blessing. And, from the tiny little frog ponds down by the water to these red squirrels climbing up and down the trees, that eagle that was in the tree and then soaring ahead, and the bear. I mean, when Mason's hackles went up, I knew it was something big, and I just grabbed the camera and ran. Didn't have to run very far though, 10 meters, 15 meters, and there it was. So very exciting. Hopefully I won't have too many bear dreams tonight, but I think it'll be okay. I haven't seen him since, and I've got the spray. So yeah, that's a wrap. Night's coming, and I'm just going to hang out by the campfire, have myself a couple of grape juices, and then call it a night. I'm heading out tomorrow, so I'll be getting up fairly early and doing the 2 or 3 hour paddle back to the access. But man, oh man, I can't wait to come back to Killarney. This has just been magnificent. Next time I'd like to see more, obviously, and, maybe have to make some bookings further in advance. Too bad about Harry Lake, but I certainly haven't suffered. What a glorious, glorious campsite on a glorious, glorious lake. Anyway, that's it for me, so I'm going to sign off and catch you in the morning. I'm alive. I made it. The bear did not return last night, which is wonderful. So today we're just getting ready to head out. I've got all the gear packed up and the canoe is staged and just have to load 1, 2, 3 into the boat and we'll make our way down lake. So I'm going to get started on that now before the wind comes up because it is a beautifully calm morning. Here we go. In. Let's go back. Boy. There's a room for me in there. Well, we've just departed the campsite and about to pass by Bear Point. No bears today, though. Glassy morning, overcast, humid. Not quite short sleeve weather, but definitely shorts weather. And hopefully the paddle back will be just like this. I just paddled past a blue heron. He's over there walking in the scrub now. But ordinarily you see them and they're standing tall. This guy, I thought he was a rock. Like his entire head he'd brought down, and I looked at it and I'm like, what the hell is that? It looked like a turtle, for God's sakes. And then it moved. So I stopped paddling and then it raised its head a bit more and I thought, oh crap, it's gonna be a gunfight here. So went and got my camera as quickly as I could, spun around, and by that time he'd, well, as you can see, he managed to take flight. But wow, I mean, he was tiny. He's not a big guy anyway. I'm gonna get another shot though, because he's quite interested by me. He's staring right over from where I guess he feels he's sitting. This is so cute. He's now ducking down behind the grass, and then he's raising his head. Oh, you're still there? And then he's going back down again. This is the funniest heron. He's curious, but he's also wary. Now he's hiding behind a tree. This is too funny. Oh my God. He's hiding behind this little tree. Well, I'm getting closer, so hopefully I'll be able to get some better shots. He hasn't really flown away. He did a little tiny flight. But now he's walking back to where I originally saw him, so let's see if I can get a better shot. We see you. You're not fooling anyone. There he is, ducking down. Oh my God, you are a funny bird. But you see how it looks? It just looks like a rock. Now he's sitting down. All right, we'll leave you be. Okay, bud, we'll see you later. I think I see a bald eagle sitting at the water's edge. Don't move. But I can't tell because I've got old man vision. But I think its head's turning. Oh God, I just can't tell. I'm gonna try to get closer. Oh, it's moving. What is this thing? Got a big white head. Jesus. Stay.
it's turning. Time to get the big camera. Okay, do not fly away, wherever the hell you are. You beautiful piece of driftwood, you. That is a eagle-shaped piece of driftwood. It will not be flying away. All right, well, you can't blame me for getting excited after all the wildlife I've seen on this trip. Okay, paddle time. Well, portage is done, and the sun, for a brief moment, made an appearance. Now it's back behind cloud, looking more like the moon than the sun. But I've got a fairly brisk headwind on the way out here, which isn't really fair because I had a headwind on the way in here. What's going on? I'll have to talk to Parks Canada about that. But it's not too bad, and I bumped into, oh gosh, 5 or 6 canoeists this morning, all heading in to the inner lakes of Killarney. So I had a couple of nice chats with people. It is Friday and I'm heading out, and most people I guess are heading in. Anyway, I'll be back at the takeout soon, and until then, just enjoying this lovely paddle and ducking into the odd bay to check out interesting things. But right now I'm just going to try to round the elbow down at the bottom of Bell and maybe take some shelter in the lee of the South Shore once I get down there. Anyway, I'm not complaining. It's a very manageable day, very beautiful day, very overcast, but no rain. No rain. Well, I am back at the put-in at the Bell Lake access point, and a very windy paddle back, but gorgeous, just gorgeous. Balsam Lake, you did not disappoint. I don't know if I've ever had such a wildlife-rich canoe trip in a 4-day time span. I mean, loons, eagles, kingfishers, herons, nuthatches, black-capped chickadees, woodpeckers, loons, like the birds were, I wasn't expecting to see many so late in the season. They were so active. And then the bear, I mean, come on, like 20 meters from my campsite, just very, very exciting. And the frogs, who knew frogs could be so exciting? So all in all, just, I mean, it's a great trip. I'd definitely go back. I would definitely go further and explore more. As I mentioned earlier, I've been to Killarney before, but mostly the Silver Peak area. Here I ventured east and north into Balsam, and next time I'll push into David and maybe some of the other lakes up that way. Anyway, things are wrapped up now. The truck's loaded, and another trip in the books. Couldn't be happier. Friday, heading home, tired, shot a lot. Hopefully it'll turn into something. Thanks for coming along. See you in the next one.